England led by Billy Wright, the white shirts, and Russia led by Simonian. And for those of you who like to remember the colors of international teams, Russia play in red shirts with white shorts, red stockings with a couple of white hoops at the top. And as so normal with continental goalkeepers, their goalkeeper, Belyayev, is all in black. John Howe, the England right back, has now rejoined the England side. He was walking behind the Russians. There's Nat Lofthouse, new crew cut and all, back in the England side for the first time for 2.5 years. Well, the England team again, the half-back line, Clayton of Blackburn Rovers, Wright of Wolves, the captain, Slater of Wolves. The forwards, Douglas of Blackburn Rovers, Charlton of Manchester United, Lofthouse of Bolton Wanderers, Haynes of Fulham, and Finney of Preston North End. Rather strange, at Wembley there will be no presentation. Two national anthems will of course be played. The IF. Now the Russian team. In goal, Belyayev, and all the players, by the way, except one, come from Moscow teams. So if I just give their names, you'll know the city is Moscow. In goal, Belyayev of Dynamo. The right back, number 2, Kesarev of Dynamo. The centre back, number 3, Maslenkin of Spartak. The left back, number 4, Kuznetsov of Dynamo. The right half, number 5, Voynyov of Kiev Dynamo. Now he's the only non-Moscow player in the team. The left half, number 6, Zarev of Dynamo. Again, of course, it's Moscow Dynamo. The forwards, all from Moscow. Outside right, Metrovelli of Torpedo. Inside right, Ivanov of Torpedo. Centre forward and captain, Simonian of Spartak. The inside left, Mamedov of Dynamo. The outside left, Ilyin of Spartak. And Billy Wright, Simonian on the left, the three officials, the referee Monsieur Guigues of France, who refereed the World Cup final, his two linesmen, Monsieur Barberon of France and Monsieur Lequesne, also of France. There's the fourth meeting in 5 months between these two countries who had never played each other before May. Russia have 1 victory and 2 draws to their credit. And on the England side, MacDonald, Howe, Wright, Slater and Haynes have played in all the previous 3 matches. For the Russians, Kasarev, Kuznetsov, Voynov, Ivanov, Ilyin and Zarev, because he came on after 5 minutes in the first match as a substitute. And number 3 is Lenkin, who is the centre back. The Russians, of course, play a system of 3 fullbacks and 2 halfbacks. And number 2 is Kasarev. I think I might well have said that Kasarev has played in all the previous games against England. Well, he hasn't. He didn't play in the first one. Since the World Cup, Russia has played 2 internationals, winning 2-1 in Czechoslovakia, in Prague, and beating Hungary in Moscow 3-1. England has played just 1 match, drawing 3-3 in Belfast against Ireland. The man to watch in the Russian side, I should say, is the right half, number 5, Voynov. And it's Russia to kick off, and the great match starts, the first time the Russian international side has ever played in England. The ground will be slippery after so much rain. Now here's England's new cap, Shaw. The ground is soft on top and might be difficult for the players to keep a foothold. Clayton through to Lofthouse, who's flagged offside. All eyes will be on Lofthouse, of course, this afternoon, back in the England side for the first time in 2.5 years. And in Belfast, he lost his England scoring record. Tom Finney got his 30th goal for England. Lofthouse has got 29. So I know they'll both be out to win the match for England, not beat records for themselves. Lincoln. Simonian just pushing Ronnie Clayton as that ball drops. Free kick to England. Taken by Shaw to right. Shaw once again, number 3. There's Lenkin to Kasarev. Mamedov. Now here's number 5, Voynov. Simonian. Mamedov. Now Ilyin, tremendously fast. A goal kick to England. No, Mr. Geek has given a foul against Ilyin. Given a foul for pushing Howe. Notice that MacDonald is wearing gloves because the ball will be very slippery. Right. Charlton. Bad mistake by Charlton. Ilyin and Wright coming on the scene for England. And Lofthouse pushing, centre back as Lenkin. Free kick to Russia, that already started pushing that ball down the middle to try and use Lofthouse's skill in the air. Douglas into Haynes to Charlton. Lovely pass from Haynes. And the Mushtakig has given a free kick to England outside the penalty area. Some of the crowd thought he should have allowed Charlton to play on. Douglas going to take the free kick. A goal kick to Russia. Stadium full, 100,000 spectators, despite the very dull weather. Voynov to Ilyin. Voynov, a great attacking wing half. Haynes. Clayton, number 4, to Douglas. And Slater. And it was Lenkin getting it away. Now Slater once again. Kuznetsov very quick on the scene, and he's penalised for pushing Douglas. A free kick to England. Mushagig, a very, very strict referee indeed. Clayton with a free kick for England. Charlton. And Lothouse is penalised. And the crowd now beginning to get a little tired of the whistle solo from Mushagig. And Lothouse signaling to the referee as if he's busted his nose or something. Ilyin to Voynov. Simonian, Ivanov coming down the middle. Metravelli, the 7. To Voynov, and it's Haynes taking it off him. Sarev. Simonian back to Voynov. Haynes. Through to Howe. Moving up to the attack very cleverly. Douglas moving inside. Rather a strong back pass from Kuznetsov. 5 minutes gone. England 0, Russia 0, and Kuznetsov getting a cheer from the crowd for replacing a divot. Sarev through to Simonian. Fortunately for England, that ball just striking Billy Wright. Hope it's on its way to McDonald. Howe. Sarev to Ivanov. Back to Voynov. Now to Sarev. Throw to England. Charlton. Haynes. Douglas. Later to Haynes. Russians tackling very, very quickly. They're not allowing the England forwards to settle on the ball. Slater with a throw. Haynes to Shaw. It's Clayton. Notice number 9, Simonian, very deep for Russia. Into Clayton. To Lothouse. To Charlton. Haynes is unmarked. There's Haynes. Back to Lothouse. Charlton. And Charlton not getting hold of that one properly. Metravelli and Finney beating him. So to Russia, Metravelli to Simonian. Strange throw, but now Slater through the Lothouse, and this is the pass Lothouse likes. Throw to Russia. Sarev going to take it. Back to Kuznetsov. That's Sarev. To Simonian. Zarev to Kuznetsov. Ivanov. To Mitrovelli. And brilliantly taken by Van That's Douglas. Haynes has gone over to help him. It's Haynes, number 10. Mamedov. Kuznetsov. And notice how Maslenkin lies even behind his fullback, the centre back. Now, Ivanov out to Mitrovelli. Both the England inside forwards coming very, very deep indeed when Russia attacked, leaving Lofthouse as the only man up for the attack. And Mamedov charging Douglas in the back, a free kick to England. Lofthouse offside. He was never onside from the moment the ball was placed for the free kick. 10 minutes gone, England 0, Russia 0. Substitutes, by the way, will be allowed for a goalkeeper at any time for one other player up to the 44th minute. Howe. And the first time Finney has touched the ball, 10 minutes, the first pass he's had. And he wins a corner. No, he doesn't indeed. The referee has penalised him for a foul. The man in black, Belyayev. Up now to Mitrovelli. Beaten again by Shaw, up to Finney, and a throw to Russia. Now the line's given it the other way to England, so it's into Slater. England obviously mean to push that ball, pump it right down the middle so that Lofthouse will chase it and try and upset these Russian defenders by making them play turning round towards their own goal. So far a very quiet game without either side having organised a clear-cut chance. Kesarek. Shaw. Shaw to Slater. Now Kuznetsov. Mamedov. Ivanov. That's out to Mitrovelli. The linesman has flagged that the ball was over the byline for a goal kick. That was the first chance of the match to Ivanov. He seemed to me to hesitate as if he felt he might be losing his footing. I noticed a divot where he seemed to pull up, so perhaps he was slipping when he was moving onto that ball. Kasarev. Finney leaving it to Charlton. Haynes. And it's through to Douglas. Kuznetsov should have cut that one off. A corner kick to England. Notice how far out of his goal Belyayev stands for this corner kick. Clayton. Since the World Cup, Russia has carried out numerous experiments in the two international matches they've played. In fact, Madoff, who was inside left in this game against Czechoslovakia, was the substitute outside right, but he did play inside left against Hungary. Charlton, Simonian, Lofthouse, back to Charlton. Lofthouse moving down the middle very quickly. That's a beautiful pass to him. He's onside, and Lofthouse lacking a bit of speed then. He should have scored. Beautiful pass from Charlton. Now Zarev to Voynov. Kuznetsov. This is the left back coming up with the attack. To Mamedov. And a throw to Russia. Well, we don't often see Nat Lofthouse missing chances like that. Ilyin with the throw. Mamedov. Into Simonian. Back to Zarev. Oh, there's another chance for Ilyin that time. He could only have gathered that ball. Now Haynes coming back to gather that short clearance. Lofthouse. And Finney had moved inside. Shaw again trying that long kick for Lofthouse to chase. Belyaev, I think, has spotted the ruse because he's keeping up a position on his 6-yard line. He's hardly ever standing on his goal line. Zarev to Metrovelli. Well, Graham Shaw facing a big test, his first international against Russia at Wembley, but he's playing extremely well. Charlton to Haynes, and Haynes by Kasarev. Finney with the free kick. Lofthouse, and obviously England not going to charge the goalkeeper. Voynov. Across to Zarev. Zarev. And Shaw. Douglas, and some of the England players looking at Mishagin for an indirect free kick for obstruction, but he waved it away. Just over a quarter of an hour gone, still no score. Clayton to Douglas. Kuznetsov making a present of it to Charlton. Lofthouse decided that some goalkeepers have got to be made to keep the game going. Madoff back to Simonian. Madoff again. Back to Voynov. You've always noticed this number 5 up with the attack. Lovely one to Simonian. That'll be a corner kick to Russia. That's a shot from our portable radio camera showing corner, back now to Ilyin. And right getting it away now, Zarev. Up to Finney. Slater. Kisarev. Shaw once again on the spot for England. Haynes. Up to Douglas. Haynes calling for the return pass. But not a good return pass. Haynes wanted it much shorter than that, so it's a goal kick to Russia. "20 minutes gone. England 0, Russia 0. Finney to Lofthouse, away from his shadow for a moment. Now Clayton out to Charlton. England decided to interchange a bit. And the corner kick of Kisarev. Finney and Haynes were waiting for that ball to get through. England forwards just beginning now to feel their way against this Russian defense. It's to Haynes, to Douglas. And Zarev getting in an awful lot of trouble. Russian defense obviously doesn't like pressure put on them. Everyone in the Russian half except McDonald, the England goalkeeper. Howe. Now to Haynes, to Douglas, back to Haynes. Still a bad clearance to Douglas. He's got a great chance. And just trying to beat that extra man. Howe. Ivanov to Mamedov. Ivanov. Once again, Shaw brilliantly positioned to intercept that ball. Haynes calling for it, and he's got it. Now to Clayton. Douglas. Haynes. That is keeping his body between the ball and his opponent. Russian forward line just not together as a unit at all. Shaw. Madoff coming well back with his defence. In fact, the two Russian inside forwards have now decided their job is to defend to try and keep England out. Kuznetsov with a chance to get his team going to Voynov. Kisarev to Mitrovelli. Ivanov to Mitrovelli. That was a lovely pass. And it's Clayton who comes across to give away the corner. Short corner to Ilyin. Back to Mitrovelli. Back now to Kisarev, right back, and England come out feeling for offside, and they catch 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. Clayton to Charlton. Into Douglas. That one from Douglas. And Wright being pushed off it by Mamedov, so it's a free kick to England. Lenkin looking up a lot, very well indeed. Kuznetsov, Simonian, the centre forward, to Ivanov, Mitrovelli, and it's Slater who gets it away to Finney. Slater, Finney moving down the middle for the return pass. There's Finney, and he's surely brought down. But Richie Beam waves play on. Voynov out to Mitrovelli. Simonian coming down this right wing, but it's a bad pass. Throw to England. 25 minutes gone, no score. Haynes to Lofthouse to Clayton to Lofthouse, back to Douglas, and it was Lenkin on the spot to get it away now to Kuznetsov, out to Mamedov. Simonian, who doesn't like staying in the middle, to face Billy Wright. Clayton getting it from Charlton. Right across to Finney. Lofthauser just moved that extra half yard. Now it's Kesarev replacing the divots. No doubt the groundsman here at Wembley will be very pleased to see these Russians doing that. Here's Ilyin, the man who got the goal that put England out of the World Cup. And it's a throw to England. And Clayton pinching a few yards, he's got to get back. Clayton in now to Slater. And this time Slater is waved on, and I think he thought the whistle was bound to go for a free kick. Ivanov. Ball travelling very quickly off this wet turf. Lovely one from Kesarev to Mitrovelli. To Ivanov. Clayton again very quickly on the scene. Certainly the England defence beating the Russian forwards for speed. Again it's Clayton, and he's through. Free kick to Russia, taken by Kuznetsov. Donald to Shaw, Finney moving up the left wing, then stopping and getting the short pass. Shaw. Sarev across to Kuznetsov. The Russians certainly not looking an impressive side, but then England not looking all that impressive when they get near goal. Now Douglas from Haynes, and up to Charlton. Goal kick to Russia. one would have thought with all the territorial advantage that England have had so far, they'd have got much nearer scoring a goal than they have done. The only really clear-cut chance was the one Charlton made for Lofthouse, and the one, of course, Lofthouse missed. And Simonian, Metrovelli, McDonald to right. The throw is given to England. Benny with a throw in to Charlton. Back to Shaw, number 3. Lofthouse getting that one. Now it's out to Mamedov. Through to Sarev. Metrovelli, number 7. Ivanov. And Ivanov runs later. The goal kick. Notice our radio cameraman there, who was right in the firing line with that one. "15 minutes to go before half-time. No score. And Lofthouse might get that one. Well, that shows you how slippery the ground is. You can probably see his footmarks where he slipped. Very dangerous thing to do by Lincoln. Clayton to Slater. The England defence covering very well, but now Wright urging on his forwards, saying it's about time England got a go. Notice the hands on the back of Metrovelli by Shaw, giving a free kick to Russia. England, of course, very anxious to win again. They haven't won since May when they beat Portugal. 7 internationals without a victory. Voynov to Metrovelli. Out to Ilyin. A wonderful touch from Mamedov. And he's missed a sitter. So that's one each now. One really good chance each that has been missed. And through to Ivanov, who is flagged offside. Voynov, Mamedov, Mamedov once again into Voynov. Voynov pops up everywhere. Ivanov. Certainly this is the most disappointing international by both sides. Crichton to Haynes, up to, now to Douglas. Voynov giving away a corner kick to England. Short one again to Haynes, Douglas, and a goal kick to Russia. In the World Cup, Russia qualified as second to Brazil in Group 4, but then beaten in the quarter-final by Sweden. Even off to Mitrovelli. Into Charlton. Charlton to Slater. Into Finney. There's quite a bit of move to bring the goal. Finney to Loftus. He's got a wonderful chance. Well, he should have scored, but give Belyaev the credit for coming out of his goal to narrow the angle. He got down to that hard ground shot very well. Now Douglas, some wretched clearing by the Russian defenders. To Loftus. Going off to Mitrovelli, number 7. Now to Sare. Mamedov, number 10. Through, beautiful pass to Mitrovelli. And Ilyin really telling him where he should have put it. That's Ilyin just walking away, number 11. So the score should really be 2-all, and in actual fact, with 10 minutes to go before half-time, it's 0-0. In what is so far one of the dullest internationals we've seen at Wembley for a long time. Now Finney. And that's anything but international style football. Finney with the throw to England. Charlton. That's Russia's throw. Well, there's not a soul anywhere near that ball. This is getting rather like a rugby international, with both sides finding touch whenever they can. Ivanov. Zarev. That's out of play. Another throw in. These wing halves are going to be very, very tired before long. Mitrovelli getting a present from Charlton. Into Mamedov. The bad pass doesn't seem to matter in this game, because you're bound to get it back within about 10 seconds. Clayton up to Loftus. Finney. Simonian getting it clear to Mitrovelli. Shaw with all afternoon to make his mind up. And the Russians not coming forward at all. They seem to be quite content to keep the score at 0-0. Kisarev to Ivanov. Simonian. Ivanov going down the middle, but goes to Mitrovelli. Mamedov calling for it. Waving his arms about. There he is. Up to Ilyin. Simonian. Mitrovelli. Now that was a pretty sprightly move, and the Russians might well have scored had their other forwards followed up. But Mitrovelli was hanging well back. Much too far back. Goal kick to a very grateful England. Charlton. To Haynes. Slater's unmarked. Goes to Clayton. Slater moving forward. And up. Well, that couldn't have been farther away from Tom Finney. Haynes to Loftus. To Finney. To Charlton. Charlton. Finney, and Kasanov keeps a very tight hold on Finney indeed. Now it's Ilyin coming back in the Russian defense. And Ilyin is tripped by Brian Douglas, a free kick to Russia. And with 5 minutes left before half-time, an interval that everyone will be glad of, it's England 0, Russia 0. Now Ivanov through to Mamedov, and Mamedov just about using everything he had to get Shaw out of the way. Haynes to Clayton. Out to Douglas. All the England forwards now up. There's Lockhart. To Ivanov. Slater getting it, number 6. And Lofthouse will certainly have felt that one. Away come Russia now, the centre forward, Simonian. Will be very slowly to Mamedov. Simonian, he's got Ilyin in the middle. And Shaw hitting it clear. And to Douglas. Powell. Douglas to number 5, Vonyov, the right back, right half. Haynes, number 10, to Zarev. Zarev to Clayton. And that's far too much of that we've seen, but Charlton to Lofthouse. Out to Douglas. And the Russians falling back in defence. And that one almost caught Belyaev on the hop. I don't think he expected a shot. He seemed to be going the wrong way. He just throws the ball into touch. Crowd getting a little impatient now. They throw into Douglas. He comes to Lockhouse, and he's wide and high. No, some of the England players thought it was a corner, and indeed some of the Russian players did. But the linesman and the referee all signalled a goal kick. Out to Finney. Finney to Haynes. Kesare. Out to the outside right, Mitrovelli. 2 minutes to substitute time. 3 minutes to half time as right foul Simonian. Simonian with the free kick. Back to number 2, Kesare. Vonyov and Ivanov won't catch that one. Lofthouse. Number 9, Haynes, is unmarked on his left. Slater misjudging that one very badly now. Mitrovelli. Beaten by Shaw. Shaw playing a very good game for a man in his first international. Slater getting it up to Finney, but it's over the line for yet another throw-in. Vonyov. Clayton to Shaw. Charlton calling for a short one. Shaw wanting to get it away from his goal, but only making a present to Kuznetsov. Through to Ivanov. Simonian, who is offside. I should imagine both team managers will have something very serious to say to these teams at half-time. That's Douglas. Douglas, square one to Charlton. And Charlton overrunning it. And away comes Maslenkin. Maslenkin to Vonyoff. Simonian. Haynes coming back. Giving to Shaw. Up now to Binney, number 11. Douglas is on the left wing now. Here's Douglas. Haynes to Finney, back to Haynes, and a goal by Haynes. By my watch, just 5 seconds before half-time, Haynes put England 1 goal up with that quick 1-2 with Tom Finney. And maybe that goal will snap a bit of life back into the game. Or rather into the game, and there's the half-time whistle, so it shows you how late that goal was delayed. 1-0, England lead.